You are a bread baker in ancient Rome. In the year 50 BC. In the city of Rome, near the Forum Boarium. The day is ending. Not slowly. The day here does not end slowly. One moment the light is still working, still useful. The next moment it is the kind of light that makes work difficult, that makes you lean closer, that makes your eyes try harder than they should. You have been at this since before the sun rose. That is what this work requires. Your bakery is yours at this hour. The others have gone. The city outside is changing from its day sounds to its night sounds, and you can hear it happening through the walls. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. This is the smell of the night ahead of you. You have stood here many evenings and felt this same transition. The air cooler. The sounds different. The world outside becoming the night world while you remain inside, in this place that does not change with the hour. Your work continues. The night is beginning. The heavy stone millstone. You check it, as you always check it at the start of the night. Not because it changes. Because the checking is part of how the night begins. Wheat grain has been prepared. The preparations done during the day are finished now. What happens from this point is different. From this point, the night has its own rhythm, its own demands. Outside, the wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. This is the sound of the city becoming itself at night. A different city from the day city. You have heard this transition so many times that you have stopped noticing it as a change. It simply is the sound of the beginning of the night. Your hands know what to do. They have done this many times. When you are tired, when you are not thinking, when your mind has gone somewhere else entirely, your hands continue. They know baking bread the way they know how to be hands. Tonight will be long. That is neither good nor bad. It simply is what tonight is. The light outside is almost gone. Inside your bakery, the light is what you have made it. A lamp. The fire. The small persistent glow that allows the work to continue. The long wooden paddle is in your hand now, tending the oven fire through the long night. This is what the night is for. The day is for the customers, for the business, for the public face of what you do. The night is for the work itself. The part that takes time. The part that cannot be hurried. The domed brick oven. You pick it up and set it down again. Not yet. There is an order to things. You have learned the order over many years and you follow it not because you must, but because the order works. Things done in the wrong order lead to problems later. You have learned this the hard way. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. You have stopped hearing this as a sound. It is simply the texture of the night in this place. When you notice it consciously, it is usually because something has changed. Tonight nothing has changed. The sound is what it always is. That is good. The first part of the night is underway. You are in it. You have been here, the first star, if you could see it. You cannot see it from here. Your bakery does not offer a view of the sky. But you know it is there. You know the order of things outside even when you cannot see them. A street cat has found its way in through the side door. It sits near the warmth of the oven without asking permission. You notice it without stopping your work. There is room in this night for things that are not you. The night is large enough. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. The city is fully in its night version now. The day people have gone home. The night people are moving. Carts. Animals. People who work as you work, through the hours when others sleep. You are part of a community you rarely see. The night workers. The people whose days are other people's nights. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. Warmer now, as the fire settles in. Marcus is what you are called. You do not think about this often. Names are for other people. When you are alone at work, you are not a name. You are the work. You are the hands doing the work. You are the attention that watches the work. The heavy stone millstone again. You know this tool the way you know your own hands. Better, perhaps. Tools do not change. They wear. They improve or degrade slowly, over years. But they do not surprise you. They do not have good days and bad days. They are what they are, every night. The fire is steady. Or the candle. Or the lamp. Whatever gives light here gives it steadily at this hour. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. You could close your eyes and still know exactly where you are. Every sound places you precisely. This room. This hour. This night. This is your place in the world. You know it completely. The night has committed to itself now. There will be no more fading. The dark that exists outside will exist until the light decides to come back, and that will not be for a long time. Inside, you make your own accounting of the night. What has been done? What remains? Not anxiously. Simply the way a craftsman accounts for progress. Without judgment. Rounds of bread will come from this. It always does. You have made rounds of bread from nights like this one, from years of nights like this one. Each one slightly different. The material slightly different. The fire slightly different. Your own hands slightly different as the years pass. And yet the product is consistent. This is the thing about skill. It produces consistency from variation. Your hands compensate for what is different without you asking them to. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. The night is going well. Through the smoke hole in the roof, you can see a piece of the moon. It moves slowly across the opening as the night goes on. You notice this. The moon is doing what moons do. Moving. Providing its particular kind of light, which is different from the light you work by, which comes from oil or fire or wax. The moon's light is cooler. It falls on things differently. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. The city is quiet compared to an hour ago. The late-night workers have settled into their rhythms. The occasional sound carries far in the cooler air. You check your work. It is going as it should. You are neither ahead nor behind the pace you know from long experience. This is the right pace. This is the pace that gets the work done without straining either the materials or yourself. Your hands are warm from the work. Your back knows you have been standing. The night has a long way to go yet. That is fine. Your neighbor Antonius, the oil seller next door, comes to light his lamp from your fire. He says nothing. You say nothing. He goes. There are the people who inhabit the night alongside you. Not many, but consistent. You know when to expect them, roughly. Their presence is part of the night's shape. The night would feel different without them. Not wrong. Just different. The way a familiar room feels different when one usual thing is missing. The room is still itself. But some small part of the atmosphere is absent. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. You have not thought about this smell in hours. You have been in it. You only notice it when something makes you step outside and come back in, and then for a moment you smell it freshly, the way a visitor might smell it. Then it becomes invisible again. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. The work continues. You are well into the night now. The beginning is behind you. The first part of the night is done. Not the first hour. The first portion. The setup, the preparation, the settling in. That is finished. What comes now is the middle, the long middle of the night, when the work is simply the work and there is no beginning and no end to think about. Just the doing of it. The long wooden paddle in your hand. Wheat grain in front of you. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. You are a bread baker in ancient Rome, in the year 50 BC, in your bakery. This is the whole of your world right now. It does not need to be larger. It does not need to be anything other than what it is. The night is long. The work will fill it. You have been here before. You are here now. An hour has passed. You know this without looking. The way the fire has changed. The way your body has changed. The particular tiredness that is not real tiredness, that is just the adjustment to night work, has passed through you and out the other side. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. You have listened to this for so long tonight that you have stopped listening and started simply knowing. The sound is there. It is right. Everything is as it should be. The domed brick oven. You use it with attention but without tension. There is a difference between the two. Attention is what the work requires. Tension is what bad work produces. You have learned, over many years, how to maintain one and release the other. The lamp burns steadily. Oil is a patient thing. It gives what it has slowly, evenly, without running ahead of itself. You have always found something to like about this. The lamp does not try to give more than it has. It simply gives what the wick can take. The night is dark outside. Inside, you have made a small territory of light. You are inside it. The work is inside it. This is enough. A soldier on night patrol stops in the doorway. He looks at the oven. You hand him a piece of yesterday's bread without being asked. These brief exchanges are the punctuation of the night. Between them, the long sentences of uninterrupted work. The work speaks in long sentences. The night speaks in long sentences. The interruptions are brief, but they remind you that you are not alone in the world, even at this hour. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. The smell has changed slightly as the night has progressed. The first smell of the evening was one thing. This smell, hours in, is another. Deeper. More settled. You notice this without analyzing it. Your body keeps track of many things you do not consciously track. The work continues. The city is very quiet now. This is the hour for people like you, the ones whose work does not pause for darkness. The middle of the night. Not exactly. The night does not have a precise middle. But somewhere around here, somewhere in these hours, the night is most itself. Most distant from the day that ended and the day that has not yet begun. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. This sound, at this hour, seems to come from the center of things. Not from a specific location. From everywhere. Your hands have found their deepest rhythm. This is something that happens in long work. There is a period of adjustment, and then a period of good work, and then there is this. The deepest rhythm. When the work and the worker have become less distinct. When you are doing the thing and the thing is being done, and you are not sure anymore which is which. Baking bread, deeply, at the deepest hour. This is the work that matters. This is why the night is long. Your bakery at night is different from your bakery in the day. The same walls, the same tools, the same materials, but the way the light falls differently. The way sound carries differently. The way the work feels differently in your hands at this hour than it does in the afternoon. Your hands are more certain at night. Your mistakes, when you make them, are smaller at night. You do not know why this is. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. Rare. Now. These sounds. The city has given up most of its night sounds. Only the essential ones remain. The ones that do not stop. The ones that cannot stop. Like your fire. Like your work. You are part of the essential city. The part that continues. Midnight. Or thereabouts. You do not need precision. The night knows where it is. Your body knows where the night is. Somewhere around here, the deepest dark. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. You check the work. Everything is as it should be. Better than it needs to be, in places. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the night produces better work than the day. You have your theories about why. The quiet. The cold. The particular focus that comes from knowing no one is watching. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. Familiar. Constant. The smell of your life at night. The city is sleeping. Most of it. Not all of it. You are awake. The other night workers are awake. The guards are awake. The people whose worry keeps them awake are awake. But most of it is sleeping. And you are working in the silence they have left. The night does not ask for gratitude. This is something you have come to appreciate. The night gives what it gives, the quiet, the time, the particular quality of focus that exists only in darkness, and it does not ask to be thanked for it. You were here when it came. You will be here when it goes. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Steady. Faithful. The sound that has accompanied every night of work you have ever done in this place. Your hands are warm from the materials. Your back is aware of itself. Your mind is somewhere between fully present and lightly absent, which is the right place for long work. Too present and you exhaust yourself. Too absent and the work suffers. This middle place, this soft focus, is the state that good craftsmen learn to find and stay in. You are in it. You have been here before. The night continues. A street cat has found its way in through the side door. It sits near the warmth of the oven without asking permission. Still there, if you look. You have not looked for a while. When you look, it is still where it was. Resting. Comfortable. Having decided that this place is acceptable for the night. You return your eyes to your work. Wheat grain behaves differently at different hours. This is something books do not tell you. Hours of practice tell you. At this hour, wheat grain has a particular quality. Settled. As if it too has found its own night rhythm. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. The fire breathes. Or the lamp breathes. Or the mechanism turns. Whatever produces the sound of your night, it breathes. You breathe. These rhythms are not exactly the same, but they have synchronized over the course of the night, the way two clocks in the same room begin to tick together. This is a quiet and real thing. The work is going well. This is a thing that experienced people in your trade do not say out loud, even to themselves, while it is happening. It might change. The night is long. Better to notice it quietly and let it continue. The heavy stone millstone in your hand. You know this tool. You know when it is right and when it needs attention. Right now it is right. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. A single sound. Then silence again. The city has almost completely given itself over to sleep. These single sounds are the exceptions. The sleepless. The necessary. You are the necessary. You work through the night so that tomorrow the city has what it needs. The hours past midnight have a particular quality. Longer than the same number of hours at any other time of day. Not in reality. In feeling. An hour at 2 in the morning contains more of something than an hour at 2 in the afternoon. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. More of silence. More of the sense of being the only person in the world who is exactly here and awake at exactly this moment. You are not the only one. You know this. Across the city, across every city in the world at this moment, other people are doing what you are doing. Working through the dark. Tending fires. Making things. Watching over things. But none of them are here. Here, you are alone. And the night is entirely yours. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. Yours and the night's. Your hands have made rounds of bread many times. If you stopped counting after a certain number, it was because the number became irrelevant. What matters is not how many but how well. The long wooden paddle. You set it down. You pick it up again. The small decisions accumulate into the work. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Listen to that. You have been hearing it all night without listening to it. Now for a moment you listen. The sound itself. The way it moves in the air of this room. The way the room absorbs it. And then you let it be background again. The work is the foreground. Everything else is background. The fire. The city. The moon. Background. The work. Foreground. This is the deep night arrangement of things. You are past the middle now. Sometime in the last hour, without announcement, the night crossed its center point and began its long slow lean toward morning. You did not notice when it happened. You never do. But you can feel now that it has. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. This sound, at this hour, is different from the same sound at midnight. The same frequency, the same source. But it sits differently in the night. The night has a different quality now. Not better or worse. Different. Your bakery is very familiar to you at this hour. Every surface. Every angle of shadow. Every small sound the building makes at night. You know all of this. You have been here many nights. You are here tonight. Tomorrow night you will be here again. This continuity is a kind of wealth. You are rich in nights. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. You are awake. The city is not. This is a fact of the night that you have accepted completely. There is something about the deepest part of the night that removes everything unnecessary. What remains is simple: the work, the light you have made, the sound that tells you all is well. You need nothing more than this. You have everything that the night requires of you, and you are giving it. This is a complete thing. The heavy stone millstone in your hand. The work a sound from outside. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. then quiet again. The night absorbed it. Outside, the world is sleeping. You are not. This is not because you chose differently from the sleeping world. You are awake because you must be, because rounds of bread must be made by morning, because the work does not stop because the sun has gone. You are part of a chain that does not break. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. You notice it now. You had stopped noticing it. Now it is present again. Your bakery at this hour belongs to no one else. The day people have their hours. You have these. In these hours, this space is entirely yours. Every surface, every shadow, every familiar sound. There is a comfort in this that is hard to explain to people who have never worked long nights. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Steady, as it has been all night, as it will be. The materials in front of you have their own temperature, their own responsiveness. They are different at this hour from the way they are at noon. You have learned all their variations. The nighttime version of wheat grain is the one you know best, because you have spent the most time with it in the dark. Your hands. They know what they are doing. You trust them. They have not failed you. You think of the generations of people who did this same work before you. In this same city, by the same kind of light, with the same basic tools. Different names. Different hands. The same night. The same fire. The same waiting for the work to be done. You are a single moment in a very long line. Your bakery at the deepest hour. Very still. Very yours. The sound of the low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber is one you could recreate from memory anywhere in the world. If you were somewhere else, somewhere with no familiar sounds, you could close your eyes and hear this. It is the sound of home, in the deepest sense. The sound of the place where you do the thing you know how to do. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. One sound. Then the night again. The silence is not empty. Your eyes are adjusted to this light. If someone opened the door right now, the outside dark would look almost bright by comparison. This is the version of the world you live in for these hours. A small bright world inside a large dark one. You are the center of your own small territory of light. You have been awake for a long time. This does not feel like suffering. It feels like what you do. This is what you do. There is a kind of pride in being awake when others sleep. Not superiority. Not resentment of those who are comfortable. Simply the quiet pride of doing what must be done. Of being the person who comes to this place, night after night, and does the work that the day people will find done when they wake. Wheat grain. Worked by your hands. Slowly becoming rounds of bread. As it always does. Baking bread at night is something you could not have learned in the day. The day version of this work is different. Faster, perhaps. More interrupted. At night, the work teaches you things about itself that it would not show in the day. You have become good at this work partly because you have done so much of it in the dark. The fire burns. Or the lamp. Or the candle. Something holds the dark back, and it is yours. The fire has been burning since before you lit it, in some sense. Every fire you have ever tended the low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Always this. In this place. At this hour. When the work is going well, time passes differently. Not faster, exactly. More smoothly. Without the catches and hesitations of difficult work. The hours slide. You are in the middle of the night, and then you are past it without having felt the center go by. This is one of the gifts of skilled work done in rhythm. Sleep is for others tonight. You have the work. The work has you. This is a kind of partnership. The city outside has no idea you are here. Most people will use what you make without knowing anything about the night that made it. This does not bother you. The making is its own purpose. The bread feeds people whether or not they know it was made before dawn. The record will last 1,000 years whether or not anyone remembers your name. The long wooden paddle. The domed brick oven. Your hands move between them. The work continues. Your tools are extensions of your hands by now. You do not pick up the heavy stone millstone and the long wooden paddle consciously. They arrive in your hands when they are needed. This is what many years of practice produces, not just skill, but the disappearance of the boundary between the craftsman and the craft. The night at its deepest. You are in it. All the way in it. As deep as the night goes. This is the part of the night where lesser craftsmen make their mistakes. Tired mistakes. Impatient mistakes. The mistakes of people who have started counting the hours until they can stop. You have learned not to count. The counting makes the time longer and the work worse. Better to be simply here, in this moment, doing this. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. This sound. This room. This night. You. You are in the deepest hour. The hour that most people never see from this side. They see the products of this hour. The bread cooling at dawn. The fresh ink drying. The steel waiting for morning. But not the hour itself. You see it. You are in it. This knowledge, this particular knowledge of the night, is yours alone. Something has changed. Not outside yet. Inside. Something in the air of your bakery is different from an hour ago. You have felt this before. The deep night quality giving way to something slightly less absolute. The darkness outside is the same darkness. But it is holding itself differently. With less certainty. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. The same sound. But notice, you are noticing it again, the way you notice it at the start of the night. The deep night familiarity has shifted slightly. Your senses have sharpened. Something in your body knows what is coming. Shaping the risen dough into rounds will begin soon. Before that, this moment between the deepest dark and the turn toward light. You have been here before. You know what comes next. You are not hurrying it. The coldest hour. Before the light, the cold. The night gives its final cold to everything before it lets the warmth return. You have felt this in your hands, in the air on your face. Your bakery is as cold as it gets. The fire still burns. The fire does not get cold. But the air beyond the fire's reach has found its lowest temperature. You add more fuel. Not because the fire needs it. Because the act of tending is what you do. The fire is your responsibility. It has been your responsibility all night. You have not let it go out. You will not let it go out now. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. Unchanged. Steady. The cold will pass. The light will come. It always does. Shaping the risen dough into rounds. This is the beginning of the shift. The deep night was watching, tending, maintaining. This is different. This is preparing. Active and directed. Your hands know this work. They have done the tending and now they move into the preparing without being asked. The body leads. The mind follows. Warm grain, wood smoke, the heavy stone of Rome at night. The smell changes slightly as the preparations begin. The smell of materials being worked rather than simply present. The smell of action. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. Still rare. Still the essential city. But there is a quality to these sounds now that is slightly different. The first sounds of people who rise very early. Not the night workers. Not yet. But the early risers. The ones who begin before dawn. You are before them. You are always before them. Still dark outside. But you know. The darkness does not lie to you. You have been in it too long tonight. You can feel its age now. This is old darkness. It has been here for hours. It is not the fresh dark of early night. Old darkness is different. It contains more of the coming light in it. Not visibly, but in potential. The heavy stone millstone moving steadily. You are doing the work and the work is going well. Shaping the risen dough into rounds is proceeding as it should. You are ahead of where you need to be or exactly where you need to be. You have experience. You do not fall behind. The morning is coming. You will be ready for it. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. You notice it differently now. The same sound. But now it sounds like the sound of something that will not continue much longer. Not tonight. Not this version of tonight. The night is turning. Not visibly. Not audibly. Something in you simply knows. Your bakery feels different at this hour. The same walls. The same tools. The same fire. But the atmosphere is different. The density of the air, the quality of the silence, the sense of how long the dark has been here. All of it is slightly different from an hour ago. You are paying closer attention. Your body is preparing itself for the day. Not because you want it to. Because it knows. The body keeps its own time. Between times. This is the time that has no name. Not night. Not morning. The breath between them. Everything you have worked on tonight exists in this moment. The work is not yet in the day. It is not in the night anymore. It is in this space between, this unlit threshold. Shaping the risen dough into rounds is nearly complete. You can feel the end of this phase approaching. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Quieter, perhaps. Or you are hearing it differently as your senses shift toward the coming morning. You have been awake a long time. You are not tired. Not exactly. You are something else. Something that does not have a simple name. The particular state of someone who has been awake all night and is still in full possession of themselves. You know this state well. It is yours. A bird. Somewhere outside. One sound, tentative. Then nothing. Then another. This one more confident. This is the beginning of the dawn birds. The ones who wake before the light. Who test the darkness before it has fully yielded. The low breath of the oven and the distant sound of the Tiber. Still here. But now there is something else alongside it. Something that was not here an hour ago. The world is beginning to have more than one sound in it. The pure single sound quality of deep night is ending. Shaping the risen dough into rounds is finished or nearly finished. Sliding the first loaves into the hot oven is the next thing. But not yet. First, this moment, with the first bird, and the night sound, and the work between your hands. The horizon, if you could see it. You cannot see it from here, but you know it is there, and you know what is happening to it. In other cities, on open plains, at sea, the horizon is turning. The faintest line. Less black. Less absolute. Here, in your bakery, you know this is happening even though you cannot see it. The city outside is changing its sounds. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. More of it now. The early risers. The market workers. The people who need to be in place before the day begins. You have been in place all night. You have been the earliest riser. You have had the night to yourself. And now it is time to share the world again. Light is coming. Not yet visible. But the quality of the dark at the edges of things has changed. The pure opaque dark of deep night has softened slightly. Shapes are suggesting themselves. Your bakery, which you have known entirely by memory and firelight, is beginning to reveal itself in the first whispers of what will become morning. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. Still here. For now. This sound, which has been your companion all night, will fade as the day sounds take over. This is the last part of the night where it is the primary sound. The domed brick oven in your hands. The work is in its final phase. The morning is in its opening phase. They will meet shortly. Grey. Not outside yet. But you feel grey in the way that people feel things before they see them. A bird chorus now. Several birds. They have decided together that morning is close enough to claim. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum market. The first of the real morning sounds. Distinct from the night sounds. Distinct from the pre-dawn birds. The actual morning, beginning its announcement. The low breath of the oven, and the distant sound of the Tiber. Still audible, but receding. Night and morning existing simultaneously for this brief period. You are in both. You have been in the night all night. You are beginning to be in the morning. The work is nearly done. The fire is still burning. Everything is as it should be. More light. Unquestionable now. Your bakery is no longer only firelit. Something from outside is beginning to contribute. Not enough to read by. Not enough to work by without the fire. But present. Real. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum market. The morning sound is building. The wheels of carts on cobblestones, deliveries that only move at night. The city is coming back to life. The day people are waking. Sliding the first loaves into the hot oven. This is now. The final phase of the night's work. The thing you have been working toward all night. Not hurried. Not delayed. Simply arrived at, the way all endings are arrived at, by having come through everything that preceded them. Your hands are ready. The work is ready. The morning is ready. Begin. The last of the deep dark. Outside, the sky is grey now. Not light. Not dark. Grey. Inside, the fire is still your light. The fire is still going. It has gone all night. You have not let it go out. Shaping the risen dough into rounds is done. Sliding the first loaves into the hot oven is underway. This is what the night was for. All those hours of tending and maintaining and waiting. For this. For the thing that can only be made in the night, that arrives at dawn, that the day will find ready. Fresh bread rising, the cool morning air carrying it down the street. There it is. The first smell of morning. Different from all the night smells. Something new in the air. The smell of what has been made. The night is done. Almost. The first light comes down through the smoke hole and lands on the flower dust in the air. For a moment everything is gold. This is the first real light. Not the fire's light. Not the lamp. The light that comes from outside. The light that belongs to no one, that is simply there every morning, that has been there every morning for longer than anyone can remember. Sliding the first loaves into the hot oven. You are doing the final work now in the first light. Your hands have been at this since before dark. They are still at it. Still capable. Still doing what they know. Fresh bread rising, the cool morning air carrying it down the street. The smell of completion. The city outside has the morning in it now. The sounds of the day world arriving, the sounds of people who slept and are beginning again. You did not sleep. You worked. And the work is here, in your hands, in this space, complete. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum market. This is the sound of the morning fully arrived. You have heard this sound every night that you have worked through to dawn. Every single time, it has meant the same thing. You made it. The night is done. The work is here. The first light comes down through the smoke hole and lands on the flower dust in the air. For a moment everything is gold. The light grows. Your bakery is visible in the morning light in a way it has not been for many hours. You can see what you made. What the night produced. It is good. Not perfect. Nothing is perfect. But good. Made with care. Made with the right materials and the right attention and the right hours. Rounds of bread is here. It is ready. The day will receive it. The morning light is stronger now. Colors are returning that the night had borrowed. The walls of your bakery are not the color of fire shadow. They are their actual color. You see this and feel the slight strangeness of seeing your familiar space in daylight after so many hours of firelight. This always happens. Every night ends in this slight strangeness. The daylight makes everything slightly unfamiliar, slightly new, like coming home to a place you left very early and returning to find it looks different in the afternoon. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum market. More birds. The full morning. The heavy stone millstone, the long wooden paddle, the domed brick oven. The tools of the night, now resting. Rounds of bread. The product of the night, now present. You stand in the morning light and look at what the night produced. The night is over. It happened slowly and then it was simply done. There was no single moment. There was the deep night, and then there was this, the morning, and between them was the long gradual turning. You were in all of it. Every hour. In the year 50 BC, in the city of Rome, near the Forum Boarium, you worked through the night. Baking bread. This is what you do. This is what you have always done. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum market. The day is beginning everywhere. The market is opening. The other workers are arriving. The people who do not work at night are waking into a world that was maintained and stocked and prepared by the people who do. By you. Tonight will come again. You will be here for it. The first light comes down through the smoke hole and lands on the flower dust in the air. For a moment everything is gold. Warmth is returning. The coldest hour, the hour that came just before the light, is past. The air is warming. The sun has not cleared the buildings yet, but it is working on it. Fresh bread rising, the cool morning air carrying it down the street. Strong now. The full morning smell. The smell that will bring customers. that will tell the city what the night has produced. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum Market. You listen to this with a different kind of attention than you gave the night sounds. The night sounds were intimate, for you alone. These sounds are public. The day sounds belong to everyone. You are transitioning from the private night to the public day. This happens every morning. Every morning it is the same and slightly different. You are tired now. Properly tired. The night has been given. You were here for all of it. The last light of yesterday's day. The first dark of the night. The deepest hours. The turn toward morning. The first light. All of it. Rounds of bread was made by all of it. Not by you alone. By you and the fire and the night and the materials and the tools and the hours and the particular quality of attention that comes from working through the dark. All of it contributed. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum Market. The morning chorus is full now. Your bakery is in full daylight. The fire is still burning. It will burn until you close this evening and start again. You have done what was needed. The city will find it done. This is enough. This has always been enough. The day people are arriving. You hear them outside. The sound of a normal morning beginning. The sound of people who slept and are starting fresh. You do not resent them. You made what they will find. Their morning depends on yours. They do not know this, most of them. They simply find the bread, the manuscript, the blade, the light, the record. They find it and they use it. You made it. In the night. While they slept. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum Market. The full morning now. Everything is morning. You are still here. You are a bread baker in ancient Rome, in the year 50 BC, in the city of Rome, near the Forum Boarium. This is who you are. The night made you this. You have always been this. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum Market. The sound you have been waiting for without knowing you were waiting for it. The first light comes down through the smoke hole and lands on the flour dust in the air. For a moment everything is gold. The full light. The light that removes all shadow from the corners, that finds the surfaces the firelight never reached. Fresh bread rising, the cool morning air carrying it down the street. The smell of everything being made and the morning receiving it. Your hands are still. For the first time in many hours, your hands are still. The work is done. The hands can rest. Everything the night required, you gave. Everything the morning requires, you have placed here. A full night. A full night, and now a full morning. This is the whole of it. The shape of what you do. Night after night after night. The sun clears the buildings. Real sun. Morning sun. The kind that warms. It comes into your bakery and finds what the night left. Rounds of bread. Made in the dark. Existing in the light. This is how most things are made. In the dark, by people who work when others sleep, and found in the light by people who will use them. The first vendors calling to each other across the Forum Market. You are tired. You are satisfied. These two things live together comfortably in you at this hour. A bread baker in ancient Rome. In the year 50 BC. In the city of Rome, near the Forum Boarium. Here. Done. The night is done. You were in it. All of it. From the last of yesterday's light through the deepest dark to this, the full morning. Nothing was required of you except what you gave. Nothing needed to be different. baking bread through the night. Rounds of bread for the day. A bread baker in ancient Rome. In the year 50 BC. In the city of Rome, near the Forum Boarium. The work that you have always done. The night that always comes. The morning that always follows. You are still here. As you will always be here. The fire is still burning. Let today be today. Let the night come when it comes. You will be here for it. You always are. Rest now. Sleep.